that no longer serves us. So these are the 2 flower essences. So we need to shift stuff through that liver again. Do we need to do anything specifically with entity clearing? No. Okay. So okay, time for Shelby's morning brandy. So 7 drops of Angel Sword. So that's your whole life, 7 drops. That's a big one. Or just oodles and oodles since you were, you know, since all the crap started happening. Someone actually pointed out on YouTube the other day that I don't take the same number of drops as you, and why is that? People are so, you know, laser focused.
I like all the little details they spot though.
Yes.
It's neat.
It is neat. Oh no. This one though, this one's bigger. So this one's 9 drops. So I do suspect part of this is when you were in your mother's womb, and probably some of her fears coming through for you as well, because 9 drops is more than a lifetime. Beautiful. Double check PVSS. Okay, so that seems to be clear. So let's check deep survival and hidden deep survival. Actually, we'll go back and double check from adrenal right at the start, just to make sure. Hold, beautiful. Hold. Survival switching. Deep survival. Hidden deep survival. Fantastic. Okay, so where do we need to go back and where do we need to go next? Okay, so something structural. So, let's check in your gates. Okay, so you've got a big right-sided gate going on. The right foot is much, much higher than the left. Fingers outstretched. Oh yeah, that sound. So the the right hand's like, yeah, good 2-3 inches out. That's funny. It's not funny, but it means that it's sort of pulling from here to here. So that's basically, yeah, so that's fight. Opposite arm, opposite leg to the pelvis. So your body still has a full-on fight, protection, mama lion thing going on. And there's nothing wrong with that to protect you and the ones you love, but it's when it's putting you in a state where you don't think clearly, because fear, threat, danger, cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline can shut down that frontal cortex, so then you don't see possibilities and opportunities as well as potentially you could. So it's great to keep you safe, but sometimes especially hopefully, you know, as the fears and threats settle down, then you don't need to worry about it anymore. But we've just got to calm down the nervous system and let it believe that everything's okay, because a lot of stuff is over, you know, has been resolved. Okay, so what do we need to do with that once again? Adrenal, survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival, celestial circuit. Okay, so we need to go more into the brain. Okay. So CC trust, right, so we need to go straight to trust issues with the corpus callosum. So trust and trust issues. And hold. Not a lot there. Okay, so that just goes straight back to an old pain and punishment circuit. So your body assumes that if you trust someone, you'll end up, you know, being in pain or being punished. trust and trust issues. And hold. Okay, so frontal cortex, the main thing that makes it shut down is feeling sad, despondent, depressed. So it's when we're feeling really bummed out that that little area just doesn't get up and running. And hold. Yeah, so sometimes, especially when you're feeling bummed, the brain just wants to run away. So it's in escape, submission, freeze, rather than problem solving and getting through. And of course, it gets exhausted, you know, when we've just had thing after thing after thing after thing happen to us all our lives. The nervous system goes, oh, I know I'm coping, but man, wouldn't it be good just to have a break? I'm running away now. Tasha's back working.
Yeah, she's quite happy
A
about it.
kitten. Yeah, nice. In the warehouse or making stuff? Or
Making lamps at the moment.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, which is pretty exciting.
She's got a flair, hasn't she?
Yeah.
So, sadness, despondency, depression. And hold. Beautiful. Okay. CC trust, AC response, amygdala. Okay. So the next one showing up is the hippocampus. Now with chronic stress, the hippocampus can shrink. So it's the memory center of the brain. So, and once again, you know, 20, 30, 40 years of chronic stress, there's sort of like that potential for the hippocampus to shrink and actually get really dried out and worn out in the brain because it's not getting blood supply, nerve supply, nutrition. So when we do things like meditation, fresh air, sunshine, plenty of water, good fresh fruit and veggies and all that sort of thing, we can start to rehydrate those little hippocampi. So and hold. So this is left to right hippocampus. And it's classic when they're not connected to, like the best example is walking down the street, you see someone you know, you can't remember them. So guys have it so easy because they can go, hey dude, hey mate. That one's a different one. That one's switching off your pleasure reward center. So when your memory fails you, your brain doesn't like it. It actually, it must be something that you quite pride yourself on, your memory. So when your memory goes, your brain hates it. It switches off your pleasure centers, so you're less likely to want to do things that you normally enjoy. Interesting. I think that's the first time that one's shown up. Okay, so left to right hippocampus. And hold. And then the biggies in this part of the brain are fear of failure. And hold. Yeah, and there's fear, threat, danger. So fear of failure, no surprise. And especially when you've been through such trauma, for your nervous system, fear of failure can potentially mean death or, you know, like big stuff. You know, your brain can put that massive, massive pressure on yourself to survive. Okay, fear of failure. And hold. And fear of success. And hold. Yeah, right. Fear of success. That's actually switching off your pleasure reward centers again. So your brain would almost prefer you not to succeed because for some, yeah, right. It's probably like fear of loss or something. If you do succeed, you know, how long could it possibly last? So especially when you want to buy, you know, buy some property, you know, you don't want to do anything that's going to make you go backwards. Do your research. Keep it sensible. It'll all be good. Okay, fear of success. And hold. Beautiful. Okay, anything else with hippocampus A? Okay, 60 trust response at your mental, Pele A, B, C, D, paraworking memory, RAS. Oh, okay. There's a integrative area in the brain called the auditory integration points. They're showing up next. And hold. So that's when the nervous system is stressed about, oh, two things. Okay. It's when the nervous system is stressed either about hearing something. So potentially, you know, if sometimes in your life you're scared to answer the phone in case it's bad news, or you don't want to read an email because of what you're going to hear, or you're just having a bad day and you're picking on yourself, so therefore all the negative self-talk is going on. So this part of the brain gets stressed. So it's auditory integration point, so it's everything you're hearing from other people as well as what you're doing, talking to yourself. But there's two amygdala emotions going on, frustration, rage and anger, as well as switching the pleasure reward centers off. Okay. Auditory integration points, beautiful. Okay. 60 trust, I see response, amygdala, Pele, A, B, C. Oh, that didn't show up before. So the third hippocampal circuit is showing up. So the hippocampus, the third circuit, is to do with survival patterns within your memory centers. And hold. Okay. So in this circuit, it's to do with, so kidney ones are the ones, they're in the ball of the foot, and this is to do with danger. So your nervous system in the memory centers are laying down memory still, assuming that everything that happens to you is dangerous. Yeah, and CV8 in this circuit is to do with feeling like everything is of life or death importance. And the amygdala's escape, submission, freeze it wants to run away in relation to that. So the brain's over it, sick of having to feel like that. And these two always end up connecting. Feeling like everything's dangerous and putting that life or death importance on everything. Okay, the next one showing up within this circuit is the primary memory center. So it's to do with immediate memory, current and conscious awareness of the present moment. So when it's stressed, which it is, because of danger and the belief that everything's going to create trauma in your life, that part of the brain gets switched down. So we need to just reactivate your conscious memory pathways. Okay, and retrograde amnesia is also showing up. So this one's when the brain has actually deliberately almost shut down parts of your brain so that you can't remember some of the traumas. So it's a kind one, but it still messes with the brain, especially as we get older. So we're just waking it up because it will be messing with your thalamus, which controls the information going to all of the output in your brain. So that one's CV24. Yeah, right. It's actually rage and anger that's shut down that part of the brain. So your brain has been kind and protected from some memories. And also a cumulative intuition is shut down. So that is, you have learnt a heck of a lot in your lifetime. And on certain days when we're not feeling the best about ourselves, we forget everything we've achieved and how far you've come. And when we're giving ourselves a hard day, this part of the brain just goes, no, I've learnt nothing, I'm an idiot. And so we need to wake it up and go, hey, hang on, you know, you've done a heck of a lot and done very, very well in many areas. But it's fear that shuts it down. It's sort of like your brain doesn't want you to feel good about yourself, because then someone's just going to come along and slap you back down again. But obviously when you're learning at 7 years old that the only person you can expect to help you is yourself, there will be a lot of challenges along the way. Okay, hand on the navel. Yeah, so this one's linking in with an old danger punishment, danger circuit. So hand on the navel in this circuit just activates the old pattern. So all of that stuff we've done on this third hippocampal circuit has been current. Okay. Yeah. And again, your brain would rather run away, so we need to diffuse that. Own it, release it, move on. Okay. Survival, deep survival, hidden deep survival. Celestial circuit. Okay, so just to finish up, I'm going to do the motivation little part of the hippocampus. So this is specifically when the motivation is down because of our own internal dialogue. That stuff we say to ourselves that has no basis on the truth, but we tell ourselves it enough so that our brain believes it. And your brain is wanting to run away rather than own that sometimes, you know, things aren't as bad as we think they are. So the brain wants to have a mental health day occasionally and just not have to think and work stuff out. And hold, beautiful. It's been a while, Eve. I'll get these uploaded and we'll chat soon. Thank you.